Yo, what's up? This the Edge once again on Creative Life Podcast. 2024 been very good to us, so we want to make sure that we finish this thing off the right way. 2025, we always talking about mindset, self-mastery, financial freedom, community networking, and lifestyle leisure. Today, I got somebody that brought me on their podcast when they was doing their thing, and in business and in friendship and relationships, we always return the favor. And now this time, the roles are reversed. I got my man Tony the Closer here on our podcast. Last time he was asking me questions. And, we both come from a football background. But this time I get to ask him questions because he traveled that journey. He did a lot of things that, we all do as ball players. He went through those things. He went through the ups, the downs, but he found his way. And today we got Tony the Closer here to give some tips, insight, advice. We always like to motivate, inspire, uplift people that's watching, give them the opportunity to actually be, because obviously we have become something. We made something out of so-called nothing, and we're here today. We got my man Tony. Tony, man, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, man, once again, man, every time it's an honor to, I love Edge, man. Y'all don't know this, every day I went from brother figure to father figure, man. He
trying to make me old, man.
Man, listen, no, it's just the way you give game. It just is necessary and needed, man. So I appreciate you obviously having me on your show. And first and foremost, man, Edge, you're right. I came here about, a year ago?
Yeah,
about a year ago, and I had you on my podcast. So I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, man, that's what we got to do. But that's part of the relationships you build, because a lot of times you cross paths with people and it just stays right there. But some people you connect with and there's opportunity to return the favor. And right now I look at it as you're returning the favor to me because you come to be my guest, because you reached out to me and I was your guest. So I appreciate the fact that, you return the favor.
Create the life.
Create a life forever outside, all in one.
We outside.
Forever outside, create a life, all in one. So first of all, it's been a year. In a year, so many things can happen. So many changes happen. So let's get everybody up to speed. What's been going on with Tony the Closer? And everybody know, and first of all, when you go out with Tony, it's always somebody come to him saying, hey, I know you from this, or I bought your course, or this, something that draws people to you. So during that year, what has transpired with Tony the Closer?
I think brand-wise, continuous growth. Like we saw last night, there's just a ton of people who real estate education has been my primary focus for about the last 8 years, and I took a huge step this year. We hit 25,000 members inside of my real estate program. And that's
25,000 people?
25,000 active members.
And each member is
paid members.
Do I get in your personal business?
You can go ahead, man. It's an open platform.
It's an open platform, yeah. Here, but the thing about this whole situation is it's more so about showing people that it's possible.
Right.
And if you talk about, you have 25,000 members, that means people that signed up, that's interested, that's willing to put their hard-earned money behind the things that they want. And you have 25,000 members.
Right.
And how much are they paying you?
At the beginning, the program was $2K. So I have over 15,000 members that paid me over $2,000.
How often do they have to pay?
One-time payment.
One time, and then you're their coach forever?
I give them lifetime access to all the material, coaching, and everything. So, yeah, we're in there. Once you're in, you're in.
2,000 not bad for a lifetime, long as you keep.
So what do you think about pay what you want? So that's what I did recently. So over the past year, I let people pay what they want. The economy kind of tanked. A lot of people were financially struggling, and my mission hasn't always just been getting money, because I was making a ton of money selling my program at 2K, but I also wanted to make impact, and I realized a lot of people just didn't have access to be able to get that type of information. So I decided to go ahead and cut the prices, let people pay whatever they could afford, and we crossed over 25,000 members.
So me as a person, if I'm if I'm being transparent, if I sit up there and I spend 2,000, then I see somebody come back and they say, "Well, I was part of the Pay What You Want program." You know, I feel a certain type of way because I paid 2K and they may have paid as little as $1, and for me, I would feel some type of way. So, like, how do you respond to something like that when somebody comes and look, dog, I done paid you 2,000, and you let somebody else come in here and get the same information that I got, and I paid this much. What's your what are you gonna say to that?
My students know my heart. I'm always about the people. I'll put the people before everything, and I truly believe my product should be $25,000. The reality is that I work with predominantly black people. The African American culture is 90% of my actual students, and if I can make it more affordable and that gives people access to information that can help their families, that was what the idea was. So a lot of my core audience, they really just support my mission. It's not about the money, obviously. Like, and let's be clear, those 2K members, we got people that have made millions of dollars off this program. So we're not talking about something. The average real estate deal is 12 to 15K as a wholesaler. So I'm teaching people how to play the middleman, which is like, I call it a pawn shop of real estate. And I got students who are 5 and 6 figures every single month. So whether it's 2K, $20 or 25,000, which I haven't charged, numbers like that, people are able to get, instant, money, and be in the green based off just the affordability of the program.
Well, I understand. First of all, you jumped out there first, so they should have a head start with your course. But I'm just saying, if I came in on the back end, that little gray area where
there's a couple people that were pissed off at me.
Yeah, did you refund them?
No, absolutely not.
Why would you refund somebody like that when it's like they came back and they were coming with like a bitter taste, and you had the ability to refund them, and it's right on the border of
I just think
free.
I just think it's business. It's no different than going to Target on Black Friday or whatever. Sometimes you might see that there's a sale. Every time there's a sale, that doesn't mean that you get to go back and get a discount or get your money back. That's just not the reality of business. The reality is that you decided the terms of when you did business with me that you were okay with $2,000. So if I provide all the information that I promised you for that price point, I don't understand would there ever be an issue. So there are people that try to like push back at that, but I'm like, hey, listen, this is no different than any other business. Like I'm gonna have times where my price will increase. Will you pay me more? Right? What about when I take my price up? Do I go back to 25,000 people and say you owe me money? Absolutely not. So it goes both ways.
No, that's a great response. That's a great response, and that response is shown day in and day out. Speaking of getting into this position, I always try to give insight, inspiration, motivation, give people the opportunity to actually do the things that have been done, but it just haven't been taught, or they didn't have nobody to actually give them the game. So for yourself, it's like where did this all start from? Because I don't know if people who don't know Tony, he played ball. Mm-hmm. He ran that race. He did what he can do. He probably wasn't that good because he didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
I did not have the Edgerrin James career, man. I was cut. I got injured and cut, but I grew up with just a father that was a military guy who was extremely structured and disciplined. He enforced discipline at a very hard, like militant like level. It made me go hard.
So your name should have been Tony. We got somebody named Tony Go Hard.
Not Tony Go Hard.
Hey, so that's your camera right there.
Okay.
So yeah, when you go in, instead of looking at me.
Yeah. So with having my dad in the real estate industry, he's been in it for almost 30 years. It was how I got introduced. Growing up, it was Carlton Sheets in the car. It wasn't Tupac and Biggie and all of the hip hop stuff. We were actually being educated how you can actually buy a house with no money down. So that was like things that were like kind of just being pushed at an early age, just exposure to real estate, how to get into real estate without having a lot of money. And obviously, like for me, football was something I thought was going to be where I was going to be an Edgerrin James. I was going to be a Hall of Fame player. And unfortunately, like most athletes, that's not the realistic things that's going to happen. You're going to probably have to find life after football. And I got cut my first year in the league, hurt my foot and injury released, and I had to figure it out. And I tried car sales first. I did extremely well for about 4 or 5 years in the car industry. And that's what really helped mold me into being the closer when it got into real estate, because now I was more confident with having negotiations and talking to sellers and being able to overcome objections and things like that. And when you talk about real estate from a cultural perspective, like many of us have barriers of like just what we think traditionally. You think that you got to be rich, you got to have millions of dollars, you got to have great credit, you got to have a clean background, all these different things. You got to have a real estate license. Well, with wholesaling real estate, that's the exact opposite. You don't have to have a license. You don't have to have a lot of money. It doesn't matter what your background is. So I realized this was an immediate opportunity to be able to not only for me make money, but show other people how they can do the same as well. So in 2019, I did a deal with a lady in Durham, North Carolina, with no money out of pocket. I found a lady who had basically an abandoned house that she was getting code violations from the city because she wasn't taking care of it. So I reached out to her, asked her if she'd be interested in selling it, and I actually put that property under contract for $10,000. I sold that contract for $98,500. So I got paid the difference, which was $88,500 in one deal. I posted that deal on my page, and I was like, holy shit, man, I just made 88 grand in one deal. And everybody was like, bro, how did you do that? I want to learn. And I ended up doing a free 31-day training, teaching people step by step everything I did. And it blew up. I didn't even come out with the intention on being Tony the closer, the educator. I was just like, damn, I just had a huge deal that I wasn't expecting to go this way. And it just caught so many people's attention. And from there, obviously, like teaching people, I started really hearing people's progression of, oh, I just made money in my first deal and it's changed my trajectory of my life. Right. And when you start hearing people mention to you that I've now made money that's life-changing money, and I got some stories, man, that just like are remarkable. I got people who were completely broke and now they're millionaires from learning my training. And I didn't ever think I would have that type of impact. I always envision myself as like an athlete, and I was gonna be like some superstar football player and be able to, go to the Hall of Fame and do all the amazing stuff you've done. And when football ended, I was depressed. I was sick to my stomach because that was the only thing I knew, and I felt like that was what defined me as a person, as being this athlete, And when you're sitting back at home and you're trying to figure out your next strategy or what you're gonna do next, which many athletes have faced, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do.
Right.
And thankfully, some of the upbringing of being exposed to real estate ends up coming up to be one of the things that now has changed my entire trajectory and helped me help so many. I mean, I've trained over 200,000 people.
The thing, when you say that, like, as you're saying this thing, I'm thinking about something that I saw from Rohan Marley. Now, he was talking about, kids or people that stay close to the nest and they reap the benefits from staying close to the nest. So obviously you stay close to the nest and you have a father that was in that game. So you got a head start in a sense. And a lot of times culturally we try to go against the grain. And when you see the ones that actually stay somewhere within that vicinity, and when we was talking about him, it was like he was talking about his son. He got a son named YG Marley, but his mother is Lauryn Hill. His grandfather is Bob Marley. And he's killing it right now, but he stayed right in that pocket. And I think it's so important for people to recognize, or certain people to recognize the importance of, like, look, man, you have somebody that's been doing this for an extended period of time, and they've been successful doing it. Why veer off? Why try to go somewhere else when the blueprint is pretty much right there? First of all, you have to have a passion, or you have to have some type of talent or interest in it. But your best chance, or your greatest chance for success, is to stay within that realm of work that has already been laid. And for yourself, when you say, okay, you have your father that he was already in the real estate game, do you think that propelled you, that helped you to go to the next level? Because it's not easy to just jump in that game.
I got a very strained relationship with my dad. Love-hate relationship. But I will say the being close to the nest and seeing the type of success he was able to build definitely was motivation. I grew up with an abusive father, very bad relationship. One day I like him, one day I hate him, just based off the things that
Joe Jackson. You got Joe Jackson made some of the greatest people that ever walked the earth.
And that happens. Like you know, he made me a beast. When you talk about understanding the importance of being educated, exposing me to the information, holding me accountable, making sure like I understood discipline and everything else, there were certain things that just, were enforced that made me be who I am today.
Right.
In 2016, I actually went into a meeting with my dad, and he opened up his file cabinets. And when he opened up the file cabinets, I realized what his net worth was. And I said, oh shit. See, one thing that'll get your attention is money.
Right.
Most of us we'll pay attention to a lot of things. At the time in 2016, I was a heavy gambler. I would go to Vegas, man. I'd be 6 figures in gambling, crazy. And my dad was like, hey, man, all that money you put in Vegas, you need to come sit down and I can talk to you about some property. So we go sit down at his house. He opens up the file cabinet. And we show me the file cabinet. He was going through all these damn properties. My dad's got hundreds of properties. And I'm sitting there like, hold on. I'm starting doing the math, Hey, we 100,000, 200,000. 400,000. Whoa, shit! Like these numbers start adding up real quick. Like, nigga, you worth how much? And that opened my eye to real estate. I wasn't paying attention at all. Like real talk, I had no interest in 2016. No interest at all in real estate. After that, after I witnessed that amount of money and just looking at paper, I'm looking at paper in a file cabinet. And I'm factoring in. This dude is worth over 40, 50. I'm like counting the millions. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And the best part about it is like you get all the tax advantages and you can depreciate and all these different things that most people don't talk about. But at the time, I'm like, damn, Dad, I don't really have that type of money to get in the game. He's like, well, you can wholesale at first, Tony. I'm like, wholesale? What's wholesaling? And he started explaining the process, and it's literally you're contracting a property and then selling the contract. So it's middleman, like the middleman at its finest. You don't need the money. You don't need anything. You're just literally finding properties, contracting, and then selling that contract to people for more money. And just the thought process of getting in real estate and not needing money was like, oh, it's game on. And I started like educating myself, being around my dad and learning that more intently. And then for me, like I've always tried to get competitive advantages over everything I was doing. So, I was thinking like, okay, if people are doing real estate, I want to do real estate a little bit different than everybody else. So I was trying to like do things that most people weren't doing. So most people were finding like expensive ways of marketing. I didn't want to have a $5K, $10K a month marketing budget. So I was like, how do I do the most with the least?
So for like even for yourself, you go into it, like how did you personally find the buyers for those contracts?
Yeah, so it started very simply. I went to a website called PropStream. PropStream is my data source. I essentially use.
Now, how did you find out about PropStream?
Just through. They actually reached out to me when they saw that deal, one of those deals I had did and posted, and told me, hey, I want you to try out our software. If you like the software, we'll be able to partner with you and be able to do all kind of cool stuff. So because I was coaching at the time, it was like obviously like they were a company that had already established themselves, but they needed more visibility. I had the actual network and the students. So I tried it out. And guys, I started being able to find like pre-foreclosures and vacant properties and everything all off one website. And it only cost me like $100 a month. And it used to cost thousands of dollars to go out and have to go find all this stuff and then go and try to find a homeowner. and they basically centralized all the data. So they put everything in one spot, so I didn't have to go look for it anymore. I just log into the website. I'm finding all the pre-foreclosures, any city. So if I'm living in Florida, if I'm in North Carolina, if I'm in Texas, I'm all over the country. I'm pulling all these different leads that are people who have distress situations that they got to do something. So this is the thing I tell people as students. First off, wholesaling is like the pawn shop of real estate. The simplest form is like, that these are people that are going to come in desperate, that they need money more than they actually need whatever they're trying to sell. So real estate, the same thing. Knowing that with foreclosures, the bank is going to take the property back if people don't actually make payment on their property. So I started reaching out to every single person that had a pre-foreclosure because I knew that they had a deadline. I'm a deadline hunter. I want to go find all the people that I know they have something that they got to do at a certain time, period. You got to do it or you lose the property. And I just started sending text messages. See, at the time, everybody was doing old school marketing. They were cold calling, putting up big billboards. And all. Man, I'm like, I don't have that type of money. I started sending text messages. It cost me like 3/4 of a penny, less than a penny to reach out to people. So I'm sending millions of text messages to all these people all across the country who were in foreclosure or had like distressed situations on the property. Got a couple people to say yes. So now you're making, $50K in the deal, $40K in the deal, turn into a 6-figure month. Now I'm like, I used to want to make 6 figures in a year. Now I'm doing that shit in a couple deals.
Hey, you know what? When I listen to you talk, you make it sound so easy. And it's like, if I'm sitting on the other side of this thing, I'm like, man, hold up. I'm about to sign up today. But in everything you do, there are pitfalls, there are negatives. So what are some of the negatives or some of the pitfalls that you had to go through in this process? Because
it's called work.
Tony
it's called work.
Is winning.
It's called work, man.
But it's gotta be something. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like
100%.
It's gotta be something. Like what if I'm coming into it and I'm this fresh off the block kid, don't have much of it, but I have all this drive and I just want to win. And I've been in a situation where I knew I had what it takes to do it, but it just didn't happen. Like, what are some of the pitfalls that people can look for in this situation?
Let me tell you this, right? I always say this to my students. You got everything to gain, nothing to lose. What can you lose when you can have an opportunity to go find a property that you don't own, that you don't need any money, and that you can put it under contract and then sell the contract to somebody else and make $20,000, $30,000? What's the pitfall? You actually have to do some work and finding somebody that says yes. Hey, if the only thing I have to worry about is rejection and somebody saying no, it's just a numbers game. Everything about this business, and when it comes to wholesaling real estate, is talking to enough people that have properties that are distressed properties, people that fit that pawn shop model, till you find somebody that says yes. So you will get rejection. There's going to be a bunch of people that say, no, I don't want to do business. I don't want to sell my house. I don't want to lose my house. And that's perfectly fine. But you just need one yes. You're one deal away from changing your life.
So what's your advice to somebody that's fresh starting out? Like you say all you need is one yes. All you need to look for this right here. Like, if you say, man, look, I'm going to show you I'm going to go make him a lot of money. Like, what's your advice? What's the first piece of advice you'll give this person?
First off is coaching. Before you can make money, you got to know what the hell you're doing. Many people just want to go directly to the money. Before you can make money, you got to have understanding of the process and what you're doing so you don't make the critical mistakes that can cost you a deal, right? If I'm brand new to this business and I'm going and trying to talk to somebody, make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and I have yet to prepare myself to have a conversation and know what the process is properly, I can make mistakes that can cost me $20,000, $30,000. So I always tell people, before you go in the field and you start trying to close your first deal, be prepared. Know the industry. Know what the process is from beginning to end, so you can have an informed conversation. You're not going to do business with somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. Right. So you got to be informed and educated first. Now, once you get educated, which this process, listen to me, very simple. You're looking for people that are in trouble. You put their properties under contract, you sell that shit for more money. Now, there's some little small pieces in between of like, how do you find the leads and how do you find the buyers? And I put all that stuff together in the program. But the key piece for people is truly understanding you're operating as the middleman and not pulling a single dollar out of your pocket. Right. So the most important thing for you is to find those leads, those homeowners that'll be willing to sell. I've literally put all the programs, the tools that people would need to be able to find those people. So I think like, and when you say it sounds easy, it's because it is. When I tell you I trained over 200,000 people, I got 25,000 active people in my program. Those people can show you a body of work of thousands of people that have made money following the process. The process is very straightforward. I put it in 10 steps so you can follow it like in order. I like step 1, step 2, step 3.
Right.
Like I just break it down in order. Many people have to understand the real estate industry is the one industry that always is going to have opportunity. One person's bad situation is another person's opportunity.
Yeah.
So if somebody's losing their house, if somebody passes away, if somebody hasn't paid their taxes, these all create opportunity where now that homeowner will have to do something, and then the investor on the opposite side can now come in and get it for a fraction of the price.
Right.
So that's what we're looking for.
In Creative Life, we like to talk about those things that fit within the 5 pillars. And one of our pillars is mindset. And I always look at some people that say, hey, I'm afraid or I'm nervous. You know, what type of mindset do a person that's nervous to actually invest that type of time or money into this situation that will make them successful?
You get rid of nerves with preparation and knowledge, right? Most people that are nervous or intimidated is because they simply aren't prepared properly. It's no different than when we play sports. If you go on the field and you don't know your playbook, you're going to look like shit. Mm-hmm. If you go on the field and you actually prepared and you know what you're supposed to do, you'll have more confidence. You know how to play. You play fast when you know your plays. So for us, I'm teaching you exactly the process, how to be informed, know how to speak to yourself. See, I don't just give somebody and say, hey, go contract a property. I'm telling you what to say to the seller, how to say it, when to say it. So it's truly like from a place of like, you know what to expect throughout the entire process. So that's going to help you build that confidence. So when you get on in that position to talk to the homeowner, you know exactly what's going on at that point. I can't stress this enough. Mindset is key. If you're sitting at home right now and you're not where you want to be at financially, and you know that you can pick up the telephone and call people that you don't need any money and that you can contract their home and make 10, 20, 30 plus $1,000, there's no excuse not to. It's like, hey, it's money sitting out here right now. Every day we get in our cars, we go drive past properties and we look blind. And I tell my students this is one of the most important things. If you go look in your neighborhood, just in a simple walk around the neighborhood, it's not about going to the hood per se. Many people think they got to go find a house in the hood. Even in your own neighborhood or a regular neighborhood, like I go look for the ugliest house in a nice neighborhood. So look at the house that has tall grass, that looks like it's not being kept up well. Maybe it's got broken windows, blinds look crazy, roof looks like it needs some repairing. Maybe it's a tree or something, or something, gutters beat up. Right. I'm just looking for something that shows like a sign of distress. Like, why are you not taking care of your house? If everybody else on the neighborhood house looks good and then you're like that sore thumb, I want to have a conversation, because typically people take pride in their homes. I want your house today, boy. Good God Almighty. Listen, like people listen, man. Woo, Lord, man. So people take pride in their homes, and if you understand that, that's going to be how you can identify opportunity. And many of us, every single day, we drive past opportunity and don't even look, don't pay attention. And if you just change how you view things, now you'll start seeing, hey, damn, that house does look beat up. Why is it a tarp on top of that house? Why is this door got, you just start looking different. Like, when somebody buys a car, they start seeing that car everywhere. It's not like everybody bought the car when you bought it.
Right.
But your lens changes now, right? Yeah. Your perception. So that you might not have saw that Honda Accord before, but now everywhere you go, hey, they got my car. And that's because your lens has changed. So what you have to do is reprogram what you see. When I'm in the car now, I'm looking for, as I drive down the road, I'm not just driving looking at the car in front of me. I'm looking at houses. I'm looking at, hey, damn, is that house messed up? Look at that mailbox leaned over on the ground.
But you gotta be locked in. Like one of the things we talk about.
Edge, will they lock in for $100,000 a month?
But I'm saying, like, we talk about, like, one of the pillars we have is self-mastery. You have to have a discipline. You have to have something within yourself to make you focus on it. These days, you're so easily distracted from the things that are important, because if I'm a person, if Tony tell me, hey, just ride around, look at it, I just ride and I look and I look. Like, how do you stay disciplined? How do you stay focused on those things? Because there's so many no's that deter you from staying the course, because you can ride around all day and see so many different situations, see so many different houses, or so many potential things, but they got so many other elements that it kind of deter you. And then now you're like, man, I done rolled around all fucking day, man, and ain't nothing happening. Like, how do you stay focused?
Realistic expectations. I don't expect anything overnight. I think, microwave success is what makes a lot of people fail in life. You've been successful. I've been successful. And none of that stuff that we've done. I worked out with Edge today. We're still working out. We're still doing, like, people have to understand, like, there's a process to life. There's a process to success. And you have to show up. And even when it's not comfortable, even when you don't get the reward immediately. Sometimes you've had games where you didn't have great games.
All right.
Like, that didn't mean that, like, you weren't going to have a good game later. And sometimes people think that just because they didn't have success today, that means forever. For me, I always train my students to understand this is a numbers game. So you want to, as many no's are that you take away, that's creating opportunities for the yes. So my thing is, if I'm talking to 10,000 people and 9,000 aren't interested, or 9,800 aren't interested, I want to get all those 9,800 out of the way, because those 200 out of that 10,000 that are still there, those are the opportunity of people that I can do business with. I don't get frustrated by a no. It's like, you got to understand the game of life, and even in real estate, it rewards the people that show up. It rewards the people that are consistent. It rewards the people that do it when nobody is paying attention. So for me, I tell my students, you have to go and have a clear understanding of what your goals in life and what you have expectations for. Every day they look in my group, they're going to see people making money and closing deals. They post in my group all the time. You'll see people posting 80K deals, 40K deals. So if you're sitting in that group, you're going to be motivated because you're watching your peers who also came in that same exact program having success. So if you're watching other people around you, and that also breeds like the environment. We got 25,000 people in a group.
All right.
So they're seeing not just me, but they're seeing other people who have similar backgrounds, similar journeys. And then I also highlight my students. So, for example, I had a student out of Tampa, Florida. Her name is Derby. She was a school teacher, made $35,000 a year. She's now a multimillionaire. Came into my training, blew it up. Well, how did she do it? She took action. She decided that she wanted this more than she decided that she wanted to be a teacher. She said, literally in the video, fuck this $30,000 a year. I want to make some real money. One deal, she made $103,000. One deal.
So with, like, one thing that we focus on is community networking, like, and in a field that it's like everybody's going at this same property or these same situations, everybody using these same tactics. How important is networking in this field? Like, what are some of the tips you can give somebody to say, okay, because if I sit up there and I talk to somebody that's in the same game, in the same area, and I speak to them about this potential property or this potential opportunity, like, what are some of the tips you would give somebody when you're talking about moving in there, but they're going to benefit also, or they see an opportunity, they can cut you out? Like, what are some of the things that you have to be kind of ready for? Because, when we talk about community networking, we're talking about everybody lifting each other up.
Sure.
But this right here is a different game.
Well, the beauty of, like, what I created was, like, one of the best networks of just people that are all understanding what we're all on. It's our turn. That's my motto. Yours create a life.
If we're in the same area and I want to talk to you about, hey, man, I'm thinking about going and check out this house. There's no loyalty to everybody. And
that's what contracts are for.
But I'm saying, like, but if you're talking to somebody, you're getting advice on it.
Yeah, so contracts first and foremost. Everything I teach my students is with contract based. I'm not doing anything. I'm not sharing my addresses, property addresses, or anything until I got that property secured, because in real estate, everything's controlled by equitable interest, that contract. So that's the number one priority. Secondly, when you start talking about, like in real estate, local REIA groups, all these things, like many real estate investors in particular are pretty like close. Like many of us, they're gonna go to groups together. They're gonna show love to each other, and then you do joint ventures with each other. So there's a lot of partnership. So maybe you got a deal that you can't sell that you bring to me, and we split it 50-50. So that's kind of like what you start creating in the real estate industry. Is like maybe you don't have the network of buyers. You found a deal, you got a house, but you don't have any buyers. So you can go to your local groups, and now you can partner with people that have buyers already. That maybe you're new, and you got a deal, but you don't have anybody that you can sell your deal to. You partner with other real estate investors that already have those partners and buyers, and then you can actually use those guys. So it's all about really just like anything in life is leveraging your network, going into places where you're going to vet through people, make sure that they're credible. So you're not going into the wild, wild west and working with somebody that you haven't done any research or due diligence on. You always want to be prepared to know like who's legitimate and who's not. So in my program, another thing that I do is I show my students how you can actually research which buyers are legitimate or not. I find one property address and I can show you every property that they're linked to. So you can literally use technology now to show you what's real and what's not. I don't believe in just like somebody telling me something, but I can actually verify it with information.
So throughout this whole teaching of courses, it's obviously that you simplified the investing process, especially in the real estate market. How does the advancement of AI and technology help that process for you?
Man, that's a great question. AI and software is giving us a competitive advantage. If you think about, like I mentioned back in 2019, I was early adopter of doing SMS marketing, which was probably one of the biggest changes why you see now with the 10 DLC and the government making people have to register to send text message marketing, because I was blasting millions of people text message saying, I want to buy your house. You might even have somebody send you something like that in the past where they want to buy your house.
Block, delete.
Yeah. So marketing is key. Well, now with the new AI, we actually have AI that can have Edgerrin James' voice or my voice, and we're actually reaching out to potential seller leads and getting deals done with the use of AI. So back in the day, it was me having to make the call or having a virtual assistant in the Philippines who's actually calling and sounding broken English and people hanging up because they can't understand what that person's saying. Now we're using AI, which can use your voice or anybody's voice, and it sounds 100% real, but not this AI has the full conversation, can even close the deal for you. So we're now having this complete change and shift with all the AI stuff that's happening. So it's absolutely dynamic, and it changes the way that you do investing in general.
It can close the deal for you?
It can go through the whole entire process, like the whole negotiation. It can qualify your lead, and then even like set schedule calendar appointments and everything. It's amazing.
No, that's pretty tight, man. That shows you how far we've come, because who's going to close the deal for me? I got to feel it. The AI, do AI have feelings?
At some point, they're going to probably give it feelings too.
Yeah, they end up having feelings. Yeah. So we're on Creative Life. We always like to talk about lifestyle, but this time we're going to do a little bit different. This time we got Tony the closer. And for anybody that knows Tony has been in the blogs. He's been on the news.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, Tony, I'm the wrong person to come around when you're talking about relationships and advice. And this right here it's a little bit different. So I'm like, hey, Tony, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Can we be transparent on here?
We can do it, dog.
We can be transparent. But what I did was, before I got to this, I reached out and I put out there on the survey, and I said, man, this is not my space. So I'm going to have questions that come from outside sources that's familiar with it, because I'm really kind of out of the loop. I really didn't know what was going on. And, a lot of people started calling me like, hey, what's up with your boy Tony? Hey, what's up with... I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And then they send me these links. They send me all this, They send me all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, my man tripping. My man was tripping.
I love her, baby. I love you.
I
love you, baby.
See, you can tell he's not from Florida.
I love you, baby.
He didn't grow up on JT Money, man, because we just look at it a little bit different.
Nicole Linnell. I love you, baby.
That's her name?
Hey, baby, I miss you.
You see that? Now, this is not part of Creative Life, man. This right here is supposed to be motivate, inspire, uplift, take people to another level. Now, we got somebody that he's not representing the throne. We got my man Tony close. You know what I'm gonna do? First of all, when Tony came to me, and no, he didn't come to me. When we spoke, he know the first thing I say is, listen, dog, be a man. As a man, you make a mistake, you own up to it, you suffer the consequences. And then Tony got so many not text messages on the he got so many when you go on the you just keep commenting and commenting. Yeah. He's on the thread. I'm like, hold up, my man is over here begging, man. Like,
I beg for my baby. I'm gonna cry in the rain for you, baby.
But I'm just like, man.
Hey, I'm like silk. So, I'm gonna cry in the rain for my baby.
As a man, listen. You know what you was doing. You know who you was doing it with. Mm-hmm. So all that begging, we ain't gonna do all this begging now, cause before it got to the begging, Tony know what Tony was doing.
Hey, listen, I'll be honest. Sometimes when you get in a relationship, like things happen really quickly. Like I fell in love with Nicole on our first date.
This not even starting to feel like crazy life,
and you gotta understand, like real talk. I got in a relationship and I probably didn't clean up all of the nonsense that I had pre-existing, and I allowed a lot of that to seep into the relationship unfairly to her because she was all in. And if you care about somebody, you need to do what's right by them, and I didn't. So she saw shit that she never wanted to see. And
so first of all, man, I don't condone all this foolishness. Listen, if you're gonna be outside, be outside. If you're gonna fly straight, man. It's like that's what it is. This is not my space. It kills me to hear this man say all this foolishness, man.
It's not foolishness. I love my girl. Hey, listen, I don't know what the hell wrong with Edge. I love my girl. Listen,
if he loved his girl.
I'm not perfect. Hey.
If he loved his girl.
Listen, one thing I'll tell you, as a person who has a very huge personality, and then I have a female who also, when you got a beautiful woman, they want you more. Like, women come at you more when they see that you got a woman that already like on top of you.
So I mean, you're weak then. You supposed to be strong. Stay strong,
I have moments of weakness. I'm human. I'm human.
Okay.
That don't mean I don't love her.
I'm a father, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So if you have weakness, that means you still have weakness.
No, I got rid of that shit. I got rid of all that shit about 4. I've been out the house about.
That means like, hey, baby, in the right situation.
I'm in therapy. Listen, fuck all them girls. I'm out of here. Look, I done checked out. Edge was like, man, we outside. No, you outside.
No, Edge,
I'm in the house.
Edge is just Edge. So
I'm inside.
I live totally.
He outside. I'm inside.
Hey, I live like you guys see Tony, man. Tony, they go to every top restaurant. They put everything. I'm not a public person. I'm a private person. Tony he don't care. He's just out here. So he made himself a target.
Well, listen, we have a very public relationship. We got a podcast. Me and my girl, like, we both are bosses. She was an 8-figure earner before she met me. I'm also successful.
So a woman with 8 figures, man.
Yeah, it's a power dynamic.
You better fight, brother.
I'm fighting like a baby.
Hey,
Shop Nicole Linnell.
Let me get back on basis, man. Let me get basis because, like, man, look. Anybody look at this, man, I don't want to take it wrong. I'm just having fun. Like, I'm in a neutral position, right? Because Edge is Edge, Tony is Tony. But, so, I have a question from one of the people that's involved or interested in your situation. They say, was your relationship purposely made very public, or was it because of both of your social media influencer status that it gained so much attention?
Honestly, the crazy part is Nicole and I dated for like weeks or months without ever sharing that we were together. We just have huge followings. I mean, people both saw. Nicole had her own story. She has her own book out. She talked about her journey and trying to find love, and I was just online, just being a little wild single man, and when we connected, it just both of our audiences knew that we were both looking for something different. And it just blew up. It wasn't even like it was like to try to sell anything or whatever. We put up one post and that shit went so viral. And
But okay, now go back to Tony getting off his discipline, Tony making a mistake and doing whatever Tony did. I don't even know what Tony did. It's like being that you know all that stuff, being that you know, what gave you the confidence to say, man, I'm still gonna do whatever I did to disrupt this situation?
honestly, it wasn't even a thought of like disrupting anything. I just was getting attacked.
You thought you was slick.
No, when you got people who, I lack discipline sometimes. I'm not perfect.
That's just the real, but Nicole, come back home, please, whatever it is. But how can Nicole come back to Tony knowing that Tony is not gonna do what Tony did?
Well, first off, I feel this pain. You get stonewalled for over a month where I'm out the penthouse. I'm sitting down at the front desk trying to buzz upstairs. They like, no, man, you don't live here. When you don't have contact with somebody who's truly your partner and you care about and been my best friend, that's the person I speak to the most, talk to the most, and it's been 4 or 5 weeks now without conversation or anything. Oh man, fuck this shit. They can have. Hey, look, I guarantee you, I won't be answering the DM. I won't look at nothing. That motherfucker, I'm blind.
So
I don't want nothing. I'm fuck this shit.
so now we can now. So after all that, you can expect Tony to be this angel, but you still got.
I wasn't even. Listen, I was never. I'm a good man. I just had a couple shortcomings that after it's 4+ weeks of lockout and reflection and therapy and everything else, I don't like this shit.
You went to therapy?
Hell yeah.
I was your therapist.
Nah, you hey, look, you really gave me some game, but like, nah, I actually went and got a real therapist. Man, I got trauma. I had like most of my relationships ended up in some type of cheating. And it was typically the female, so it made me put my guard up and just even feel like
what makes it gonna stop now?
I got a good woman. I got to do my part now.
You had a good woman.
No, I'm getting mine back. Mind your business. Chill out.
You had a good woman, and you still
we
did
fighting.
That.
We fight here, man. Listen, I made it to the NFL.
You fighting?
I made it to the NFL when no team wanted me.
She's still selling clothes.
No team wanted me, and I made it. She don't want me, and I'm gonna make it.
Hey. You sure you're going to get her back? I'm going to help you get her back.
No team wanted me, and I made it.
So, what are you going to do different?
Be a man. I mean, like, the reality is that,
what is the definition of being a man? Because you've always been a man.
No, I'm saying, like, from a responsibility standpoint, we want to say that we love people and cherish them, and then sometimes we violate the very trust that they built with us through those times. And without
four weeks of being away going to take away all those years of trauma and built up.
Hold on. The minute that you get a reality check when you look at something, like even when I got in trouble in the past, like you get a reality check sometimes and it brings everything to the forefront. Looking at somebody that I truly care about hurt, seeing the pain that I put across her, like that's real shit to me. And I never wanted to make her experience that pain. So to know what I did as far as damage, I know we kind of was laughing, but I take this extremely serious when it comes to her. I got to fix it. And I knew for me, it had to start internally because I did have relationships that were shitty. I did go through bad experiences that I allowed my selfishness to kind of like guide me through things and thinking that I could self-correct and I could do it on my own. But you know, when you care about somebody and you realize that you really like, she sent me a text message, and I don't like sharing a lot of stuff, but she said she felt like a part of her died.
Well, you don't have to like, share too much stuff that carry over.
Yeah,
so
but
we're gonna keep it on surface so it don't carry over.
To hear somebody say they felt like a part of them died because they saw my action was like, that was very difficult to like read that. So I just wanted to try to do my part because she didn't deserve that type of pain.
Okay, so now I'm playing devil's advocate. This has nothing against you. nothing against Nicole. It's like, through my journey, I've seen that it's very easy to sit up there and be down with somebody and kick it with somebody, I'm down with you, I'm 100 for you, this and that, when there's nothing really and truly that you could say I could walk away from.
Right.
So now you come into a situation where this female is being tested and you tested her.
Big time.
And now you get a chance to see what you was working with. Do you agree with that statement? Because I don't think you ever got in a situation to this magnitude. So if you want to say if somebody's for me, it's easy to be for somebody when everything is good. And I already know your DM is blowing up. Everybody blowing up. Tony come out with these big $10,000 stacks. He's showing all this nice stuff that he's doing. So that's easy and it's inviting to the outside eye. But then when you got this person right here, you never had no drama with them. And you never had no conflict. So as a person, do you say, man, like, dang, the first time I make a mistake or when I slip, are they really down for me? How do you feel about that?
This wasn't, first off, like, what she saw on my damn phone, like.
Now, why is it in your phone, man? What's wrong with this guy, man? Like,
what she saw on my phone, man,
he ain't from Florida.
I deserve every bit of the anger and the stonewall that I received. I'd be grateful for an opportunity to speak to her because she really can go get anybody. She's a beautiful girl. She got her own bag. She got everything. So for me, I just wanted the opportunity to show like I could be better and do better because I think like sometimes we say testing people, they supposed to be like battle testing. Like you don't put people through anything.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm saying. Is this the first real drama?
To this magnitude, absolutely. But
that's what I'm saying. So how do you know if somebody's really there for you? And this has nothing to do with that situation. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, the overall, like, how do you know if they never been really through something and caught you? Like, that's a weak point for you, right?
So when I first met her, I got locked up. She was there. I look at this different though. Like I don't look at infidelity and cheating on somebody as the test.
Stop cheating.
Because if she had did that to me, I wouldn't feel like okay with it. So I think
that's a good one right there.
Like
if the roles were reversed, would Tony take her back?
Yeah, like probably not.
So why should she take you back?
She shouldn't, unless she loved me and she wanted to try to work on this.
So
together.
why are you so confident in getting her back then? Hold on, this right here, this one I don't get in the middle of all this. This thing is getting crazy because if you sit up there and say like okay, yeah, if it was me, I wouldn't do it, but since it's her,
as men we have double standards.
Do it. We're not gonna live in the double.
I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. As men, we have double standards. So
no double standards here. That's an 8-figure woman that's making money.
Yeah. I know, but we still operate with like we men. We operate with a mindset that we can do certain things that women cannot, and I'm not saying that that's correct or not, but obviously, man, I wouldn't want to see that shit, and I tell a lot of people that but you already know that's how it goes. It's like it just happens. Somebody said, if I would have did that to you, if you would have seen, if I would have been, that's common. That's a natural reaction. Yeah.
So Tony wouldn't take her back,
and I said no.
But that's what I'm saying. But you expect her to say yeah.
I'm not expecting her to say yes. See, that's the thing. I think a lot of people think that I expect a yes. No, what I expect is that I'm gonna keep fucking trying, and hopefully she give me another try. Like she's supposed to say what she's doing right now is nothing. She's fucking stonewalled me, won't speak to me, and rightfully so because I violated her. And the crazy part is, she motherfucking is in the same position with me where she gets all the same attention. She gets all the rich people coming at her. She got rich. So she could have easily been doing the same shit or worse or ran off with somebody else. But no, she held me down. She held me down when I was going through the shit with DJ Envy. She held me down when I was getting arrested and the police, she bonded me the fuck out. Like, so she's done everything that she's crossed all the boxes. So like for me to go do that, it was selfish. And you know, like as I'm sitting here, like I do some self-sabotage shit sometimes because I've actually been through shitty relationships, and I didn't expect this relationship to be as good as it's turned into, honestly. The moments where you deal with people and you think that, you know, you got it under control, and then you look up and you're in a fucking shitstorm of stuff because you try to sneak and hide, and then that shit blows up in your face. You realize a lot of it just wasn't worth it, and definitely when it was somebody that like I truly value, like I really love her, I really cherish her. Many people can see that just by my actions, how Nicole, I've always like picked her up.
Come on home, Nicole.
Come home, baby.
Come home. Okay, I'm gonna keep running these questions down, man, because you know I've been hearing this shit for about 2-3 days straight. I'm telling you, I'm tired of hearing about this.
Edge called me, was like, "Hey, man, hey, stop that shit now.
Man, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, look, be a man. You messed up, man. Like, own that shit. Own your shit. You know.
But let me ask you a question.
I don't like getting in this space, right? Here because
hold on. But let me ask you a question though, because you say own my shit. Is it not owning my shit to publicly apologize and make my apology as loud as the disrespect?
Hold up. Let me see what this question says.
Is my
I got a question. It says, some people feel as if your public apologies have been almost to the point of being excessive or intrusive. What is your thought process behind this? And do you think it might have crossed boundaries or added to her embarrassment?
Absolutely. All above. All above. Me making it public was obviously like to make my apology as loud as the disrespect. I knew she was hurt. She was already, you know, she had unfollowed me. You know, she had took all our pictures down.
That's only hitting the button,
so you know, not just. Oh no, for her that's a big deal. To unfollow me is a big deal. To remove all of our all of our photos.
I don't think that's a big deal because that doesn't take much to do.
To her, that's everything. To remove every photo of me and her off her page. I know what I did to her. She was trying. She couldn't even stand the thought of seeing me after what I did.
I got another one. I got another one that's good right here. This is another one. I'm talking
Edge ain't even let me get my question.
Man, hey. Look, first of all, anybody that's interested in this topic right here, I'm just having fun, man. Like, listen.
Did me bringing this to the media bring further embarrassment? Yes. Did it bring further more opinions, more people that, you know, try to disrupt, try to get at both of us? It did all of that shit. And the reality is that I hate that I even put her in a position where I would have to even be in that spot to even have to do any of that. So all of it is irrelevant. I mean, it's relevant.
I don't know whether to say yes or no. I'm just going through the thing, right? So remember, this is not my space, right? I don't get in this space, all right? So the next question I have is, do you feel like she really loved you since it seemed like she just cut you off cold turkey? Or is there more to the story that you aren't publicly admitting to? That's a good question right there.
I mean, if y'all seen my phone, you would understand. It dated back to 2007. So
we're gonna create a live XXX. Trust me, we're gonna put all the footage on the phone, man. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a whole new site.
No. I deleted that whole motherfucker. I deleted.
You can delete all you want. You got 30 days. Y'all only got a couple. You got 30 days. Apple, in the iPhone, you can go and retrieve. We can go retrieve.
It's already past the 30-day window.
Hey,
be past the 30-day window.
I know how to get information. Don't worry, we can get that information.
It's out of there.
We know people that can get that information if you really want.
I don't want it no more. Fuck that shit. I don't need it no more. I don't want to see it. Hey, burn it. But to answer that question that you just asked, no, she didn't. You know, of course she loved me. But if you got that much disrespect and you violate somebody's trust, like you can't tell somebody how to react to being heartbroken and being violated. Like she did what she felt like was best for her.
Okay, so you got Tony. That's Tony versus. Hey, you know the best part of being in this seat right here? I don't have a dog in the fight, man. It don't even matter. It's like you have viewers and you have you and your personal. Like one thing about myself personally, I don't get into the gossip. I don't get into nobody's stuff. But for some reason, my man, Tony the Closer, has been knocking on that gossip door every day. You've been on every blog or something. I'm like, man, what's going on with my man? Like, what is going on? So that's why you have people interested in it. I didn't know people would really be that interested in it. Let me see what they said. The next question is, while you were with her, did your income increase or decrease? If decrease, Do you think that played a role?
Nah, my income remained the same. We both were assets to each other, so financially we make money. Like Nicole and I both are individual bosses. I think many people think like this was a financial thing. It was simply she went and saw shit that she should have never saw on my phone. Simple put.
First of all, now this is Edge chiming in right here. Why do you have stuff in your phone? Like, what's going on? Like, what's so important to have it in your phone? Like,
a lot of it, Edge. Like, just for clarification, because I think that the problem is like a lot of people think like, hey, Tony just had like a folder of like freak offs. Nah, it wasn't like that. When you got your phone and you might show somebody a picture and you don't want the wrong shit to be on the screen. So I've been dating. It's like ex relationships and shit like that. I don't want somebody to go through my camera roll and see a nipple or whatever like in my camera roll. So I put those in hidden, like just so it's not on my main photo thing. So over years of time, people sending me nudes or whatever, I just had never deleted it.
But why keep them?
It was just like I never deleted
it. You've seen it.
It wasn't even to. Like, if you look at my phone right now, I haven't deleted shit. I got screenshots of, like, pointless shit from, like, 8 years ago. I just,
but like why? You see,
it's not.
First of all,
when I say screen, I'm just talking about, like, random shit. Like, maybe, like, it was, like,
first of all, the golden rule is if that's thing that caused you problems or caused you trouble, it's never good to do anyway.
Well, first off, 95% of the shit that was in my phone was before I had a relationship. So like it wasn't like I was carrying like a whole bunch of. It was just I was a single nigga and I just kept my shit. Now, the other percentage of stuff that I did that was wrong, obviously like that is no excuse for that.
We gotta tighten my man up, man. Like, look, man, you can't be doing that. I'm just joking, having fun with it, man. I had to hear this every day. Nicole, please come home. I'm sick of this shit. I'm ready to send him home. Where you going at next, man? I got one more question. Let me see. I got one more question. This is the last question. And this came from people that are into your situation or they watch the comments and all that stuff. They was like, man, look at your man. Your man he's begging on the
I'm a beg, I'm a cry.
I was like, dang, hey, and then the post went, Tony the closer. Tony, I'm like, he didn't even reply to nobody. He went, Tony. I'm like, who are you talking to, Tony? Just call her. But the question was, speaking on your situation, would you advise individuals to seek therapy or work on healing from past traumas before entering a serious relationship?
Hell yeah. I think if you really want to be in any relationship as a couple, you should probably involve some type of therapy. Many of us are simply broken and going into relationships with unrealistic expectations to not ever had true healing. How can you expect, somebody to be faithful? I seen something the other day where I think it was one of the pastors out of Atlanta or whatever. He said he had never had a faithful relationship, in his life until he tried. He said he tried once he got married. Just think about that. Everything you've been doing your whole life is one way, and then you want to try to get into a relationship and then automatically turn into something else. It's just you're setting yourself up for failure. So with people that's 40% is the damn unmarried. They say 40% of people who are in a relationship that are unmarried get cheated on, right? So that means you got a high likelihood of getting cheated on. If you're going into a relationship knowing those numbers and do nothing as far as understanding how to communicate, deal with problems in a relationship, even communicate about, hey, what your needs are and if your needs are being met, those are realistic things that most people and then they just become problems. And then it comes into you bringing other people to try to fill those voids that you feel like you're not getting. So I think everybody should be going into therapy. We was at lunch today. I was on a therapy call.
All right.
Like I take this extremely serious because
I've been your therapist.
You have been as well.
I've been, but no, in all seriousness, I'm just playing. I just been joking because me and my man Tony, he already know. I said, if you come in here, I said, man, this is not my space. But at the same time, we're gonna have fun with anything because for me, as a person and as a former athlete, this is the locker room. the locker room is where you get true therapy, and you get it from so many different walks of life. You get so many different angles. And so I'm joking, but at the same time, Tony I'm like, man, look, he knew I was straight up with him. I was like, dog, you got to be a man about what you did.
For sure.
Regardless of whatever. So I don't want it to come across like I'm riding Tony or like I'm on no side, because it ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everything that went on, or everything that transpired, hopefully it works out, because I don't want to see my man steady begging.
I begged for a year, 2 years for that girl. Hey, I'm coming back for my baby.
What's her name?
Nicole Linnell. Nicole Linnell.
Come on home, man, because this man got to go. I got to go. We got to go. This man got to go. It's like, but in all seriousness, hey, if you're around Tony all day, I don't care what the conversation is. You can be talking about, man, I had a red car in high school. He's like, yeah, man, me and Nicole went and saw a red car. It's like, I don't want to talk about no Nicole, man. Like, all day. So, and in all seriousness, you can tell when a man is broken. You can tell when, like, that's what's on his mind all day. So I don't know what it's going to take.
Hold on, respectfully. If you've been following me for any amount of time, she's always on my page the same way. So I know a lot of people. Everybody he's love bombing. I do this all the time. This is my girl. I always highlight her.
I mean, what's that song? That song, Brandy, when they were talking about the little dog. I miss you, Brandy. Like, man, we need to put that on the segment. Hey, dog, I promise you, Tony didn't even. This true story. We're in the club last night, and we hanging out. I introduced him to some of my partners, and I walk off about 2-3 minutes, and guess what? I come back, I hear him talking about Nicole to strangers. Like, they don't give a fuck. So please, Nicole, please bring your ass back home.
I'm in the club.
I'm so sick of this shit.
I'm in the club. Girls walking up to me to myself. I just love you and Nicole. I'm like, fuck.
Now that's the worst part. The women love his girl. They're like, hey, I know you from Nicole. What you did with Nicole?
I love you and Nicole. I was like, I love us too.
I don't get it, man. Like, hey, all I can say is, man, tighten up. Get your shit together, man. Get your ass from outside. Get inside. Hey, Nicole, give that man another chance, man.
Nicole Linnell Robinson 2025. We going to Nicole Linnell Robinson 2025. Holla at me, baby. I'm going to come home.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, we lose a good man every day, man.
Hey, Nicole Linnell Robinson 2025.
You done married the girl on Grit Life Podcast. She ain't even say I do.
You do something wrong, you cry in the rain for your baby, man.
No, first of all, real men not gonna be doing nothing wrong. We're gonna be sitting up and like, look, man, this is what it is. We're not gonna sit up there and do all that. Like,
real men make mistakes. I mean, hell,
everybody makes mistakes.
We had the president of the United States get head in the Oval Office. We had all kind of stuff happen.
That political. Hey, my man trying to bring everybody into his situation. Guys, first of all, you talking to people who don't know him about his situation. Now you want to bring the president.
Hey, we just talking about infidelity, right? And infidelity, it happens in every walk of life.
We're talking about, we're going to keep, okay, we're going to talk about these subjects on Creative Life. We're going to stay specific. We're not going to bring outsiders into it. We're going to make sure we stay right here.
Now, if this was just like a regular person, I wouldn't be begging and doing all this other stuff, but this is somebody that I truly see long-term, building with. So I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck what nobody else think. I don't care what Edge think. I don't care what nobody think.
Why you don't care what Edge think?
Man, because you outside. Edge outside. I'm inside looking for her. Listen,
Edge controlled outside.
But listen, I'm not outside. I want to be cuddled up with my baby in the bed. Period. Fuck all the outside. I want Nicole. So me doing that shit, man, I'm gonna let everybody know. And I don't care what nobody say about me. They can say, hey, he a simp, he this. Man, I'm a man. and I made a mistake, and I'm gonna let her know I feel terrible about it. I'll let the whole world know. I don't care about opinions because everybody's always gonna have something to say regardless, but I want her to know. You ain't answering my phone calls, I'll put that bitch on social media because I know they gonna send it to you. So if you ain't answering my calls, hey, look, I'm gonna post it and they gonna send it to you anyway. And I miss you.
What
and come home, baby.
to create a lifestyle?
And no. This is creating a life because to create your life, you got to make sure that you understand that your actions have consequences. So if you talking about you want to create the life and you say you want to create a life with someone and then you moving improperly, you can ruin everything, man. We sitting here working on millions of dollars of shit together. We got a beautiful life. We building a family, and I go get caught up in some dumb shit. Nah, it's not worth it.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Creative life has taken a turn. I don't know if it's for the better or the worse, but at the end of the day, I actually enjoyed this segment because we're sitting up here having fun. I'm kicking it with
First
my man.
100,000 view video.
Man, 100,000 or one person, it don't matter. I had a good time. I'm kicking it with my man Tony the Closer, man. I'm glad that you was willing to open up. This wasn't supposed to go this way. This is supposed to be about motivating, inspiring, uplifting, getting people to the next level. But he wanted to bring his personal shit to the table. You know what I'm saying? But that's what friends are for.
Man, hey, listen, Edge, I appreciate you as always. First off, the platform, sharing your platform, being the excellent person that you are. I think many people need to really pay attention to you. I don't think you get your flowers as much as you truly deserve, just being a great person.
I get them when I die, man. Don't worry.
Nah,
I'm
bro,
out here living. I won't get a chance to enjoy them, spell them.
The impact that you make on me from afar and from up close is something that I appreciate tremendously. I think that, when you talk about friends and we're even like reaching out to me to have me come to Orlando, just get me out of my funk, all that, man, is much appreciated.
That's what's up.
You need friends, you need people that like, even like how you fucking with me, talking about like, hey man, you go outside and all like, but at the end of the day, it's an honor to be, associated and a friend of yours, man, and I appreciate you having me on the podcast. I love my girl. I don't care what nobody say. Nicole,
everything
Linnell,
go back to that. Hey, Nicole.
Can I talk Nicole? Let me talk Shop, Nicole. Hey, Nicole, Linnell,
hey, Nicole.
Baby, come home. Come back to me.
Come home to this. Oh, man, I promise you. Hey, we don't need, he not built for this, man. He not built for this because every conversation has to go towards Nicole. Hey, I went to the store, right? Went to the store. Guess what? Man, me and Nicole went to a store that was like, what the fuck? I want to, like, everything. Hey, anybody ever had somebody that always veer a conversation towards what they want to talk to? I think that's selfish. I think he's being selfish. I really do. Because Tony been with me for 2 days straight, and I don't even know how to say her name. And this man right here, all he talks about is this lady. So please come home. I'm saying this with all sincerity. I don't think he gonna fuck up again. And if he do fuck up again, don't never take his call again. All right?
Don't never take my call.
Don't take his call again.
But right now, I'm drowning, baby.
Oh yeah, Iana J drown. Oh yeah, he rocked that drown. He's definitely drowning right now.
Drowning, baby.
But hey, hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode. We're ending 2024 with a bang. I got my man Tony the Closer. We're going to finish 2024. And in 2025, we're going to actually bring my man back with Nicole on an episode. I'm going to manifest those things.
Man, look at Big talking right now.
You know what I'm saying? That's Nicole's seat right there.
No, she got to sit on my lap.
Sure.
She got to sit on my lap.
No. She got to sit right there. She got to sit right there. And you're going to sit right there. So 2025, you're going to see Tony and Nicole, Edge, going to be the matchmaker, and I'm going to hold him accountable. Because I'm going to make sure, hey, look, I don't want to hear this shit again. Don't be doing this shit again. Motherfucker go in your DM, hit block. Leave that shit alone.
Block.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, anybody send me anything, you're blocked.
Yeah, stop flashing all that cash on the ground, man. You're going to attract the wrong type of people. I told you that. It's like all that stuff is distraction. Anybody that comes to you because of what you put out there and put on display, that's the first sign that stay away. Edge. We out. Create the life.
Closer.